So my name is Eric Orland, and I've got this distinct pleasure of being able to share this really incredible brokerage platform with you, which has really changed the way that real estate professionals transact real estate, not just here nationally, but around the globe. I want to take you on a detailed PowerPoint presentation. The reason I want to be detailed is I believe I've got a fiduciary and moral responsibility really to lay out the entire platform for you so you and you alone can make a decision if this platform aligns with the direction that you'd like to take your real estate business. I'm obviously not asking for any commitment whatsoever. The only commitment I ask people to make is a commitment to themselves to be open-minded, because I think if we're not open-minded, we're closed-minded, and that's typically never a great place to operate from. And the other thing I'm going to ask of you is please give me about 35, 40 minutes to go through the presentation. There's a lot here. And again, my goal is to provide you all of the necessary information so you can make a well-informed decision if this platform aligns with the direction you want to take your business. So I'm going to start tonight's presentation by saying something that when I heard this, I didn't need to hear a whole lot more. eXp is the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate. In the last 9-10 years, we have gone from 0 agents to over 90,000 agents. Think about that. Fastest growing real estate company of all time. What's happened is we have agents moving over in droves and embracing the first cloud-based real estate platform of all time, and moving away from what we call the traditional brick and mortar real estate company. Being cloud-based offers two distinct benefits. The first benefit is the highest level of coaching, training, support, and technology that the industry has ever seen. I'm going to quantify that statement by saying eXp agents on the average do more transactions at eXp than any other brokerage firm. The average agent, some do hundreds, some do none, but the average agent in a very challenging market last year did over 6.1 transactions, which is tops in the industry. The second benefit I want to highlight is financial. The reason that, quite frankly, all of us get up in the morning, get dressed, and go to work, right? Because we are cloud-based and we are not dumping money into an office, the company's created multiple streams of income for us, ensuring that we not only make more money, or have the ability, I should say, to make more money, but we have a level of financial security that's made to us that has never, ever, ever existed before in the real estate sector. So my background really quickly, I've been in the industry for around 33 years as a top producing agent. I was also a nationally recognized real estate coach. I did take a 2-year hiatus from the industry, and I worked for a well-known San Francisco-based investment banking firm called Robertson Stephens. Robbie Stephens had taken public some of the most famous companies in the world, companies like eBay, Amazon, Yahoo, Google, just to name a few. I don't say this to brag. I say this because I'm going to make what I think is a bold statement. Based on having a background in analyzing both businesses and management teams, I'll look dead into the camera and tell you I believe unequivocally that the eXp business model is a model itself, regardless of industry sector. It's as viable as any business model I have seen, period. It's really changed the way agents transact doing real estate around the globe. It's absolutely amazing. So this slide really kind of highlights what eXp, how they've captured market share so quickly. And what it highlights on the left-hand side were staples in their industry sector. They were brick and mortar or physical establishment companies. At one point in time, they were all the leaders in their industry sector. Unfortunately, most of these companies went out of business or were completely decimated by cloud-based businesses on the right-hand column. Think about it, right? A dozen years ago or so, if we wanted to rent a movie, what would we do? We'd get in our car and drive to Blockbuster in California. We had Hollywood Video, right? The thought of saying that, Beth, is archaic, right? Today, in the comfort of our home, we downstream a movie from our television or our tablet, and there is no more Blockbuster or Hollywood Video. Same thing could be said about Amazon decimating, or putting out of business, I should say, Circuit Cities, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Borders Books. And of course, Uber has killed Yellow Cab. The question is why? Why last year alone have 8,000 big box retailers gone out of business? Because cloud-based businesses are run more efficiently, profitable, and cost-effective to both business and consumer. So how does that impact us in the real estate sector? Well, when you think about the big real estate companies, right? Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Keller Williams, RE/MAX, Berkshire Hathaway, what's the common denominator? What do they all have in common? They all build out these massive offices, which requires capital to build, and then monthly overhead to keep those offices up and running. But if we're being honest with each other, where do most realtors work out of today? We work out of the comfort of our home. We'll even go to a coffee shop, for crying out loud. We don't want to feel confined by an office. If that holds true, why are we still building offices? At eXp, we do not build offices, so we don't have that same infrastructure of costs in place. Now, funny enough, although we don't build out offices, we have more offices to use than any brokerage firm on the planet. eXp has a relationship with Regus Corporate Suites, where we're able to use any one of the 3,000 offices that Regus has at no cost as frequently as we'd like. But watch how powerful this model is. So instead of dumping money into an office, right, and paying for that crazy overhead like rent, salaries, supplies, and furniture, what the company does is the following. They take half of their revenues and give those monies back to agents, to the agents at eXp, who are simply introducing eXp to other agents and helping to grow and build the company. Last year, the company took $197 million and gave that money back to its pool of agents for simply introducing this platform and building an organization somewhat like a broker, but without having any of the managerial or financial responsibilities of being a broker. So the question I'm going to ask you is very simple. Would you rather work for a traditional brokerage firm that takes all of their revenues and dumps it into an office that you don't ever use, or gives those revenues back to you, lets them go into your checking account so we can best provide for ourselves and our families? And I think the answer is pretty obvious. Let's talk a little bit about our business model. Okay. We like to say these are the 3 C's. Number one, first is compensation. At eXp, multiple streams of income. I think we could all agree is more beneficial to us as real estate professionals than having one stream of income. Community. I just got back from eXpCon in Miami. That's our main annual conference. Over 5,000 people in attendance. Whether it's our coaching platform, our membership programs, our Icon Achievement program, there's a sense of community at eXp unlike anything that I've witnessed in my 33 years in the business. And the fact that we are cloud-based means there's no desk fees. You get to work from anywhere. There's no franchise fees. And because there's no brick and mortar cost, there's an investment directly into you. What do I mean? 40 to 60 hours each and every week of live coaching and training. So you now are armed with tools and systems and are put in a position to elevate your business. Over 500 full-time employees that are at your beck and call, put in a position to provide you the highest level of support possible. Any questions on anything I've covered thus far? All right. So this is where we do a lot of our work, and this is what we call eXp World, right? This is our metaverse. Now, I am 63. I joined eXp 5 years ago, just hit my 5-year anniversary. And I must tell you, I am not tech savvy. When I tell you copying and pasting was a chore for me, that is accurate. When I first joined eXp and went into the eXp world, I thought when I saw avatars talking to avatars, I wanted to jump off the balcony. I kind of felt like the world had passed me by. I'm going to tell you 5 years later, it is the most dynamic environment I've seen anywhere in real estate. It's all about team collaboration, information sharing, and daily training. I mentioned before coaching 40 to 60 hours each and every week in large scale meetings. I want you to listen to this data point because it's important. eXp in 9 years has acquired the number 1 or number 2 top producing realtor in more than 50% of the states. Think about that. Number 1 or number 2 top producing realtor in more than 50% of the states. These are the agents that are putting on the coaching classes. These are the agents that have boots on the ground in today's market, selling at the very highest level, so you could simply mirror and duplicate into your own business. In eXp world, specialized departments, right? If you have a problem with your laptop, which unfortunately I often do, I go immediately to the technology department. A technician jumps on and quickly remedies whatever problems that I have. Every state has their own state broker room. It's managed by a designated broker and support is provided by other managing brokers. The beauty here is that support is provided instantly in real time. It's no longer about jumping in your car and praying as you're driving over to the office, hoping that your broker is available to answer any of your questions. Whether it's legal, accounting, marketing, or onboarding, support is provided in real time throughout the entire course of the business day. Now, again, I think we could all agree our growth has been unprecedented, 90,000 realtors in a 9 to 10 year span. What may be more impressive is the outlook of the company. According to the Wall Street Journal and Motley Fool's, the stock pickers in CNBC, they predicted 1 million realtors, of course, on a global basis over the next 10 years. If that holds true, think about it. Are we not at the very tip of the iceberg? If we're at 90,000 agents marching to 1 million agents, our growth is just beginning. Now at eXp, we're a publicly traded company, and how it works at the company is a producing agent. When you hit simple production milestones, the company is going to give you what we call a stock grant. This is a gift or a reward. It is not a stock option that you pay for. It is a free income stream. I want you to think about this. How fortunate would we be to be at a company that's 90,000 agents today, marching to 1 million agents and experiencing that type of growth and having ownership in this type of company? What would it mean to you? What would it mean to me, or collectively our families, to have ownership in a company that is experiencing that type of growth? I can only tell you this. I know a good deal of people that have built what I would call wealth by having ownership in eXp. It has been an absolute game changer. The biggest world event over the last 5 years had to have been COVID, right? It basically shut down the world economy. 5 years ago, when I joined eXp at the start of COVID, we were in all 50 states, Canada, the UK, and Australia. Take a look at this map. In an environment where the world economy was shut down, eXp was opened in 24 different countries. As of the last couple of weeks, we added 3 more in Turkey, Egypt, and Peru. Today, eXp is now in 27 countries, which really speaks to the flexibility of the model. eXp Commercial was launched in November of 2020. Within the first year of doing business, eXp Commercial was one of the most productive commercial brokerage firms that was out there. I believe that we were top 10 or top 12 within our first year of doing business. eXp Commercial is a separate company from eXp Realty. However, watch. If you are an eXp Realty agent, the company gives you the opportunity to cross-sell. They allow you to sell commercial real estate product, and believe it or not, they will train you on how to do so. If you are an eXp Commercial agent, the company allows you to cross-sell and sell residential product. Herein lies the beauty. There is only one set of fees, and you are only paying one cap, putting you in a position to keep more of those hard-earned commissions. Think for a second, in what way do we as realtors typically get compensated by our broker? Well, typically one way and one way only, right? Beth, we get compensated when we transact, we earn a commission. And if we don't, unfortunately, transact for an extended period of time, we could be in some type of financial hardship. I think this slide does a really good job of showing how eXp is really a difference maker when it comes to multiple streams of income. When you think about how we as individuals typically earn money, it has to do with what we call earned income. You go to work and you earn some type of paycheck. In the most elementary fashion, in the most elementary way to explain this, right? Somebody who works at McDonald's simply earns an hourly wage. If you work at a traditional brokerage or eXp, how we typically earn our income, we transact, we earn commission. Now, Warren Buffett's been saying for years that if you want to retire with any sort of comfortability to build wealth, you must have additional streams of income. eXp heard that and did something about it. We're the first company to create other multiple streams of income for our agents. The first one coming from portfolio income. I mentioned this before, our stock awards program. When you hit simple production milestones, the company is going to give you a grant, a gift, a reward of stock. Nothing you pay for. This is a free income stream. Also, you have the ability to participate in what we call our agent stock purchase program, where the company allows you to take 5% of your commissions on any closed transaction and actually purchase the stock at a small discount to what it's trading at that very moment. The beauty here is there's no holding restrictions. Company also, and I touched off on this a little bit before as well, the company allows each and every agent to transform their business from being solely transactional to creating a passive and residual income stream and getting paid like a broker, as I mentioned before, without having any of the responsibilities by being a broker, by simply inviting other agents to EXP and building out what I call an organization. I'll get more into this in detail, and this is called revenue share. So every agent at EXP has the ability to earn earned income, portfolio income, and passive income. We absolutely changed the game of real estate in ways for realtors to get paid. For the remainder of today's presentation, I am going to focus on what I call the 4 pillars of EXP. These are your 4 main income streams. Think about what is the current or the typical broker fee model. It's typically some type of split between the broker and an agent, right? Whether it's 60-40, 70-30, or 80-20. The problem is it doesn't make sense. The more successful you are as a realtor, if you're on a split, the more money you're ultimately going to wind up paying your broker, right? There's not one of us that woke up January 1st and said, hey, I can't wait to pay the IRS as much money as humanly possible. Our goal is to sell as much as we can and keep as much as much as possible of those hard-earned commissions. At EXP, you'll do exactly that. Everybody's treated the same at the company. We're all in an 80-20 split. What separates us is there's a $16,000 cap in place. When that cap is met, when that cap is realized, folks, you're then keeping 100% of your commissions. EXP has one of the lowest caps in the industry out of any of the full service brokerages. I want to show you how powerful this is. Let's say hypothetically, an agent who's at a traditional brokerage firm, most of which do not have caps in place. And let's say that agent is on the same 80-20 split as an EXP agent. And let's say hypothetically that agent does $200,000 in commissions. Well, if they're on the same 80-20 split, 20% the broker's going to capture of the $200,000 in commission. That means the agent is going to pay their broker $40,000. Now watch. EXP's got a $16,000 cap in place. Do you realize by that agent simply switching their license from where they're at to EXP, they're giving themselves a $24,000 pay raise? And this is a pay raise they don't have to beg anybody for by simply being in control of your business and hanging your license with a brokerage where there's a cap in place. You're guaranteeing of keeping more of what's rightfully yours, and that is your commissions. This is your first income stream and a really important one at that. The second has to do with lead generation. I think we could all agree. If you do not have buyer and seller leads, Mark, you don't have a real estate business, correct? And what is the thing we as agents typically dislike doing the most? It's going out there prospecting, looking for buyers and sellers, and taking on all of that rejection. At EXP, we have a relationship with a company called KV Core, widely considered to be one of the best CRMs in the industry because it has lead generation capabilities. It helps an agent identify buyers and sellers. If you were to go online after tonight's presentation and look to buy KV Core, you'd see it's going to cost you about $600 a month. It is not cheap. At EXP, you are not paying any extra for this. It is part of your technologies, okay? How it works, if you would put into place a minimal ad spend campaign, right? Your own ad spend campaign, where you were spending $4 to $5 a day, the cost of a Starbucks coffee, generating Google or Facebook leads that come to you and only you. If you spend $4 to $5 a day, do you realize you generate over 100 leads a month? Now, I can tell you confidently, I was one of the founders of a company called Movoto. Now they call themselves Ojo or OG, whatever they call themselves. But internet leads typically convert at 2 to 4%. There's a caveat. You got to be really responsive when working with internet leads and focused on really nurturing and cementing a relationship over time. But for those agents who take their business seriously, we're learning KV Core is not easy. There's absolutely a 3 to a 4-week learning curve. But for those agents who take their business seriously and take the time to learn KV Core and carefully integrate it into their business, you put yourself in a position to skyrocket your business to levels most agents never dreamed possible. This is one of our lead generating mechanisms. EXP has 9 different lead generating mechanisms. It is why We are the most successful real estate sales organization in the world. Two of the other lead generating platforms that I quickly want to highlight. One is a company called Realty.com. The best analogy I can make is the Zillow Flex program of 15 years ago, before you had to pay a king's ransom for a zip code. The other one I want to highlight is EXP's own Revenues program. Our Revenues program was launched a couple of years ago. Last year, if you're sitting down, you ready? Over $1 billion in revenue. It's all about REO and relocation leads. It has done extremely well at the company. But again, there are 9 different lead sources, which our founder, Glenn Sanford, has been maniacal about to ensure that EXP agents have buyers and sellers to work with in a continuum. That's your second revenue stream. Third revenue stream, having equity or ownership in the brokerage that you are affiliated with. We are on the NASDAQ. Our ticker symbol is EXPI. And again, how it works, when you hit certain stock awards, when you hit certain stock milestones, you're going to earn stock grants or stock rewards. The first grant is given each and every year after your anniversary date, right? When you close a transaction after your anniversary date, each and every year, you'll get your first stock grant. The second grant is given when you're out there transacting real estate, right? And you're talking to other agents and you happen to share the EXP platform. That agent decides to join EXP, names you as their sponsor, and when they make their first sale, you'll receive a second stock grant. A third stock grant is given when you hit that $16,000 cap. That happens when you've done $80,000 in commission. 20% of $80,000 is $16,000. You then keep 100%. When you hit that cap, you'll earn your third stock grant. Now listen to this fourth stock grant. This is awesome. It's for people that earn icon status at the company. And an icon agent is defined the following way. If you do $500,000 in gross commissions on a minimum of 10 transactions, or you hit that cap, right? You hit the cap of 16,000 and you do 20 additional sides. If you double-ended property with the buyer and seller, 2 sides. If either of those things happen, it triggers the following. The $16,000 that you had paid to EXP, the company returns that $16,000 back to you in the form of a fourth stock grant. Now, there is definitely a vesting period, right? Different cycles, but there is definitely a vesting period. I think the longest part of it is 3 years. But folks, you're essentially keeping 100% of your commission. Think about that, right? You're paying EXP $16,000, you're getting that $16,000 back in stock. Now, as the stock vests, your money is also working for you. If you look at historically how the stock is traded, 2.5 years ago, the stock was at $165, $170 a share. There was then a 2-for-1 stock split. And then, of course, due to world circumstances, every publicly traded company, whether it was us, Realogy, Remax, Compass, I can go on, every stock was decimated. But I don't believe there's an analyst on Wall Street today who would tell you that our stock is not severely undervalued. And our agent stock purchase program, if you choose to opt in, the company allows you to take 5% of your closed commission on every transaction and actually buy the EXP stock at a 5% discount to what it's trading at that very day. There's no holding restrictions whatsoever. You don't have to hold the stock for a month, a week, or a day. You could buy it and sell it instantly for a pure profit of 5%. Is that not like buying a $10 bill for $9.50? And this is money that flows to your pocket and your pocket alone. All right, last revenue stream I want to talk to you about is revenue share. It is the company sharing their revenues with you. It's as simple as that. Instead of dumping money into an office, our founder, Glenn Sanford, said, you know what, I'm sick and tired of brokers having to sling real estate well into their 60s, 70s, and 80s. It doesn't make sense to pile money into an office when agents aren't using money, when agents aren't using offices anymore. That's how revenue share was created. It is absolutely brilliant, folks. But if you never, and I mean ever wanted to speak to somebody about EXP, you never have to feel compelled to do so. As I mentioned, last year, the company took $197 million and gave money back to the agents so they can enjoy a passive and residual income stream, just like a broker, without having any of the responsibilities of being a broker. What do I mean? Let's take a look at the slide. Think about what a broker is responsible for, right? Capital outlay to build an office, monthly overhead to keep that office up and running. They have all of the legal liability, and they've got to manage and supervise agents. Can you imagine? As an eXp affiliate, you have none of those responsibilities. But let's compare the benefits of being a traditional broker versus an eXp affiliate. A traditional broker gets paid a net income. That means revenue minus all those crazy expenses, right? A broker gets compensated when they recruit an agent into their organization. If the agent works directly under that broker's roof or umbrella, the broker is going to capture a small portion of that agent's production, right? The broker is going to get paid on what we call one level or one tier. Watch the difference. At eXp, you get paid on the gross revenues, not net income. You get paid on the gross revenues. You get compensated on the production of each and every agent that you attract to eXp. But something else happens as well. Not only do you get paid off of that agent's production, but when that agent joins eXp, they, now like yourself, has the same opportunity to go out there and build an organization by simply inviting other agents to join eXp. And in essence, they become a recruiting arm for you, allowing your organization to grow organically by having a system in place that's not just duplicatable, but leverageable, and pays you out on seven different tiers. A broker gets paid in one tier. As an eXp agent, you get paid out on 7 different tiers. I'll share my rev share with you in a little bit and illustrate how powerful this is. The other thing I want you to consider, right? A broker gets paid on the net income that is derived from the operation of one particular office that is up and running in one particular state. Now watch. At eXp, we do not have offices, so there are no territorial boundaries. You can, and I do in fact, have agents spread across all 50 states and in any country that eXp operates in today and will operate going forward. So yes, I just came up on my 5-year anniversary. I think it was about 5 days ago. Been at the company exactly 5 years. I've been moderately successful. I haven't lit the world on fire. I have sponsored about one agent a month for as long as I've been at the company. I believe I have about 66 agents on my front line. So anybody who you personally sponsor is going to be what you call a frontline agent. They would be my first tier. Anybody who is in my first tier, those 66 agents, whoever went out there in an effort to build their own organization and earn that passive and residual income, whoever those first line agents brought on into their organizations, they'd be in my second tier. The agents in my second tier, whoever they brought on to build their business, would be in my third tier. At eXp, you have the ability again to get paid on 7 tiers. So as those 66 agents went out there and recruited agents to build their business, who recruited other agents, who recruited and sponsored other agents, my business grew organically. From those 66 agents today, I have over 2,900 agents in my organization. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means anytime one of those 2,900 agents make a sale, the company is going to generously share those revenues directly with me. Something else happens as well. Anytime one of those 2,900 agents that are part of my organization goes out there in an effort to build those organization and grows, my organization grows simultaneously. I have not, well, today I did. Today I brought on about 3 people. I got a commitment from 3 people, but I had not. I was in Europe. I was in Bogota twice. I have not sponsored an agent. First time it's ever happened in 3 months, 3 or 4 months. Yet my organization in the last 30 days, you ready? Grew by over 160 agents. Think about that. I didn't lift a finger. I was traveling around the world and my organization grew by 160 agents, which is significantly larger. In 1 month, it grew. It was significantly larger than the size of most brokerages in the US. Folks, this model is incredible. It allows you to build an organization that pays you out in perpetuity. And it is the most leverageable model in the industry. Now, I want you to remember for a second, and this is important, agents pay 0% of their commission to fund the revenue share program. Revenue share is funded by the company taking 50% from the 20% that they are collecting up to $16,000 and giving those monies back to the agents, creating a self-sustaining business plan. I want to highlight this for a second. So let's say an agent caps and an agent pays EXP $16,000. $8,000, 50%, $8,000 is then taken to pay EXP expenses. The other $8,000 is given to revenue share and paid out on different percentages over 7 different tiers. If somebody only paid EXP $5,000, 50%, $2,500 would go to pay EXP expenses. The other $2,500 would be distributed over 7 different tiers. Okay, let's dive a little bit into this. On the left-hand side in orange are the 7 different tiers I talked about before. Anybody who's in your first tier, you personally sponsored them. Second tier was sponsored by people in your first tier, and so on and so forth. If you look at that middle column, it's important. It says FLQA requirements. There are no qualifying standards for tiers 1, 2, and 3. What do I mean? Let's say I brought on my buddy Mark Richardson. I'm not Mark's sponsor. I'm using him as an example. If I sponsored Mark would be in my first tier. Let's say that's the only person I sponsored, and Mark was really good at sponsoring people. And Mark brought in 20 people. I had Mark in my first tier. I'll have 20 people in my second tier. If those 20 people each brought in 5 people, I would now have 100 people in my third tier. Just from sponsoring Mark, I would get paid out on 121 agents. 121 agents. I would have the ability to get paid 100. So no qualifying requirements. Qualifying requirements kick in on tiers 4, 5, 6, and 7. Once you have sponsored 5 agents, you will unlock tiers 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? When you sponsor 10 agents, you'll unlock tiers 1 through 5, 15 agents, tiers 1 through 6, and 7, that's the Shangri-La. That's when you will have unlocked. When you sponsor 30 agents, you will have unlocked all 7 tiers. Now, folks, I just mentioned, I have over 2,900 agents in my organization. How many of those agents do you think I regularly communicate or even happen to know? If I'm being transparent as I possibly can, if God forbid I ran over one of these people, most of them with my car, I would have no idea who they are. Out of 2,900 agents, I probably don't communicate with more than 75 of them. I probably in tiers 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 don't know 5 of those people personally. Yet I get paid a significant amount of money from them. If you look down at the numbers on the far right-hand side, an agent who caps pays EXP 16,000, right? 8,000 is then distributed across all 7 tiers. I make the most amount of money from people that are my 7th tier. Do you realize I've never met one or spoken to one person in my 7th tier? That is where I make the most amount of money, okay? Let's go up to tier number 1. Tier number 1. How it works is any agent that hits their cap, pays 16,000, hits their cap of 16,000, you will earn a minimum of $1,400 in tier 1. Now, if they don't hit their cap, you are still getting paid. The moment an agent transfers their license and they start producing, you are participating in revenue share. But what happens is when an agent, right, the cap is, when an agent hits their cap, 16,000, you'll make 1,400 and then the money ceases to exist. I'll get into the adjusted bonus in a second. In tier 2, you'll see the numbers tick up a little bit. For any capping agent, you will earn $1,600 from that agent's production, plus an adjusted bonus. And in tier number 3, $1,000. What the adjusted bonus signals is the following. There is obviously people that leave EXP. Every real estate company, every company in the world has attrition, and not everybody is going to get paid in 7 different tiers. So there is a bonus pool that is paid out every month, which could be substantial. I will tell you, my adjusted bonus my adjusted bonus last month was over $10,000. Okay, so you earn a minimum in tiers 1, 2, and 3 of $1,400 plus the adjusted bonus, $1,600 plus the adjusted bonus in tier 2, and $1,000 plus the adjusted bonus in tier 3. You'll highlight, or you'll see I highlighted in tier number 1, there is an exception. For any person that you bring on to EXP in the first year only, you have the ability to earn $4,000 for any capping agent. So in the first year, it's $4,000. In years 2 and out, it is $1,400. Okay. I also want to highlight the following. This is something that was just announced at EXPCon last week. For those agents that are focused on production, EXP's just made it super easy to qualify. If you hit a cap, if you do $80,000 and hit your cap of $16,000, that will immediately open up 5 tiers for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you brought on one person, you are going to now have the ability to get paid in 5 different tiers for a 13-month period after you've hit that cap. If you hit icon status, that is going to open up all 7 tiers for a 13-month period once you hit the icon platform, once you hit icon status. Let's keep this really honest with each other, right? Anybody in tonight's call get their real estate license and said, I can't wait to start recruiting realtors or sponsoring realtors? No, we got a real estate license because we love real estate and working with buyers and sellers. But as you're selling real estate, you're communicating with other realtors. You have to be, because you're either listening to offers or making offers, or conversation exists, right? Let's say you're doing a transaction, Beth, with another realtor. And you say to that realtor, it's really lovely been working together with you over this last 60 days. You displayed a high level of professionalism and are a really nice person. I hope you'll take this as a compliment. Would you be open-minded to exploring a brokerage platform that may allow you to keep more of your commissions? And maybe it aligns with the long-term direction you want to take your business by offering multiple other streams of income, one of which is passive. Is that something you might find compelling? Would you be simply open to exploring together? Let's say that the person who invited you here tonight, as well as myself, we would do all the heavy lifting. We'd put on the presentations for you. Let's say we helped you simply identify 3 agents over the next 6 to 12 months. As you're out transacting, we will do the selling. We helped you simply bring on 3 agents. So you'd have 3 agents in your first tier. If we do the same thing with those 3 agents and simply help them bring on 3, you'd have 3 agents in your first tier and 9 agents in your second. Watch how the numbers roll out here. Okay. With 3 capping agents on your first tier, you're going to make $12,000 in passive income. With 9 capping agents in your second tier, you're going to make a minimum of an additional $14,400. Because remember, you get the bonus, the adjusted bonus, giving you an annual passive income of $26,400 a year or $2,200 a month. I used very small numbers, but I want you to think for a second. Let this marinate. What do you think it would mean to the average realtor in this country to have an extra $2,200 a month to make a car payment, to make multiple car payments, their kids' education, to make a mortgage payment? Think about the stress or anxiety which would be alleviated from a realtor's life. What would it mean, if I could ask the question more directly, what would it mean to you? And what would it mean to your family? What I'd like to do is stop for a second here and just share with you what it has meant to me and what it has meant to my family. Sal, how you doing, buddy? I had heard about the EXP platform 3 years prior to joining. When the person shared this model with me, Mark, what I said to them was the following: I will never join EXP in this lifetime. It will never, ever, ever happen. Right? I come from a family of overachievers, and I have had a very successful career. I was 58 years old. I had had a very good real estate coaching business. And when I heard about the platform, when you're riding a wave of success, you have that little ego talking to you in the back of your head. Oh, I'm all this, I'm all that. I don't ever need to talk to a realtor about EXP. Never going to happen. I spent 3 years trying to blow holes into why this model would not work. Well, at 58, the unthinkable happened. I wound up losing everything. I had to declare bankruptcy at 58 years old. It was the exact same time that my son, who was raised in Northern California, my mantra was always to him, Jackson, if you work hard in school, I'll send you to whatever college you want to go to in the country. Well, Jackson worked really hard, and school did not come easy. He got into Syracuse University, which is over $80,000 a year. It's a private school in upstate New York. One of the saddest days of my life was looking at him with tears running down my face, saying, Jackson, I love you more than life itself, but I can't afford your college education. I didn't know how I was going to put a roof over my head and put food on the table. I was so embarrassed I had to ask my brother and sister, both of who are doctors, to loan me $2,500. I think they thought I lost my mind. I didn't know what I was going to do. Came back and I revisited EXP, and what I gathered was the following. There were no holes that needed to be plugged. The model is what the model is. The model provides you tools, systems, support, and technology so you could be the best professional version of yourself. The model provides you multiple streams of income and the ability to build, if you choose, generational wealth so you can provide for yourself and a family that realtors never saw as possible before. And I made a solemn vow, Sal, to myself. And you know this because we're talking right now. Sal has a brokerage in Northern California. I made a solemn vow that I was never going to ram this model down people's throat. I was simply going to ask for an opportunity to compare and contrast what an agent was receiving from their existing brokerage partner versus what EXP had to offer. And I believed in my heart of hearts then, as I believe today, that if an agent is being honest with themselves, if they're not wearing blinders or has their hands over the ears, they'd have to attest to the fact that multiple streams of income is better than one. And this model aligns with the direction that most want to take their business. Folks, I kept my head down. I kept my mouth shut. I created a business today where I told you before, I have over 2,900 agents as part of my group at EXP, as part of my organization. I created a business that won't pay me one or two, but will ultimately pay me multiple millions of dollars a year for the rest of my life. I'm able to take this income into my retirement, and you ready? Hand this business off to my heirs. How incredible is that? This business has transformed our ability to earn an income and take care of ourselves individually and our families in a way that has never, ever been made available before. I hope you'll give this model the attention and focus that it deserves to see if it aligns with the direction you want to take your business. A couple of more slides, and I promise you, you'll be done with me for the evening, okay? All right, talked about the succession plan. What are the fees with EXP? There's a one-time $64 application fee. I'm going to tell you, it's the best $64 I've ever spent. There is a monthly technology fee. That's $85 each and every month. I will go through with you what you get for that $85. Suffice it to say, a lot. You get a litany of tools and systems to ensure that you're running the best real estate business possible. The only other fees are on closed transactions. There's a $25 broker review fee. That's pretty nominal. And of course, we must carry errors and omission. That's $60 in every closed transaction with a cap of $750 per year. What I like about EXP, what I like about our E&O policy is that you're not getting hit with a bill of $500, $1,000, $2,000 for E&O. You are paying for E&O as you are using it. What do you get for $85? What's included? Well, you do get KV Core. That's one of your main lead generating tools, and CRM. That would cost you about $600 a month. It's included in the $85. You get SkySlope. This is the #1 transaction management software system. This would cost you $300 a month. Folks, you're not paying for this. You're getting access to EXP's Marketing Center, where you have thousands and thousands of customizable, professionally done marketing templates. So your business is now a plug and play. You could spend more time providing high-level services to your buyer and seller clients and looking for new clients. I mentioned before, access to Regis's worldwide campus of 3,000 offices to use whenever you want, free of charge. Coaching and training, 40 to 60 hours each and every week, and you get your website hosted for you. Do you realize that if you were to piecemeal this and put this together, if you were to buy these out individually, you'd pay somewhere between $1,200 to $1,500 a month. These are precisely the tools that you need to ramp up your business to the next level and run the most efficient real estate business possible. Our healthcare plan, EXP continues to pave the way by offering our agents incredible healthcare options, innovative, low-cost healthcare options. EXP was the first company to really recognize that 1 out of every 3 realtors are typically void of health insurance, and that's an NAR statistic. We heard it and yet again did something about it, leading the way in the industry. Now, as I get ready to wrap up tonight's presentation, there are going to be some people who say to you, you don't want to join EXP. It's all about sponsoring agents. That's their focus. Or it's all about getting stock in the company. Folks, nothing could be further from the truth. Let's dispel that right here and now. Not because I say so, because the numbers say so. eXp is first and foremost the most successful real estate sales organization in the world by a wide margin. Because we are uber successful selling real estate and smart enough to have a cloud-based model, yes, there are wonderful income incentives for the agents. But simply look at the screen, real trends, eXp, number one in transaction side. We didn't just beat the competition, we whooped them, but good. You want to look at sales volume, same thing. eXp, number one, and the competition isn't even close. If you want to look at total sales volume, eXp right in front of you is number three. Point being, regardless of what metric you want to use to measure eXp, whether it's the 90,000 agents strong that have joined us, the top talent, the most talented and successful agents in the industry that have moved over and joined eXp, our market cap, the strength of our market cap as a publicly traded company compared to the competition, or sheer volume. We are the fastest growing real estate company on the planet. We are the company everybody is talking about, often referred to as the Amazon of real estate. Conference after conference, at the Inman Conference, eXp, most innovative brokerage firm, and Glassdoor, best place to work. 7 years running, eXp, best brokerage place to work at. I'm going to wrap up tonight's presentation by saying the following. If eXp is all of that, why hasn't every agent around the globe joined eXp, Beth? I think that's a valid question. And the only answer I could give you is the following. We as human beings are habitual, and change is hard. We as human beings are habitual, Mark, and change is hard. But I think we could also agree, if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you always got. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. Folks, what are you going to do differently? And I say this as respectfully as I can. You know, we as human beings wake up January 1st with New Year's resolutions. We're typically going to fall madly in love. We're going to get in great shape, and we're going to make more money to fend for ourselves and our family. If we're being honest with each other, what typically happens within 30 days of a new year? Those resolutions get kicked to the curb, not because we're malicious, because we're human. Because we are human, and change is hard. So I'm going to take you in a 30-second exercise, and I will be done. Right? And it's an exercise that one of our founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, used to do when he had to make an important decision. What he'd simply do is take out a piece of paper and write a line right down the middle of the page. And what he'd do on the left-hand side, he'd list all of the pros, why it would be worthwhile for him to take business and do something differently. On the right-hand side, he'd list all of the cons. And Mark, the motto was simple for our founding father. If the pros outweighed the con, Benjamin Franklin would know to take action. I'm not going to waste your evening. Suffice it to say, I could give you 30 pros, how eXp best aligns with the direction you want to take your business. Whether it's our technology, multiple streams of income, the ability to have a passive income stream, or simply being around the best agents in the world, pushing you to be the best professional version of yourself. Folks, I bet you couldn't give me 3 cons why staying where you are at is in your best interest. The question is not whether or not you should join eXp. The question is, why wouldn't you embrace this model to give yourself the results that you want, that you need, and whether you believe it or not, that you deserve? Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingertips. Give this opportunity. Give eXp, you're researching eXp, the attention it deserves so you could put yourself in a position to accomplish what you want as a real estate professional and provide for yourselves and your families in a way that has never, ever, ever made possible previously.